Okay, for more insight and analysis into this investigation, let's bring in our own Paul Mauro, Fox News contributor and former NYPD inspector. So we'll start there, Paul. You heard what Harvey said about this letter. People have called him a honeypot now for these scammers, but he says, look, the federal authorities are taking these letters seriously. We don't know if we'll hear from this guy again. What do you make of all of this?
So obviously this person has positioned themselves in a way that they don't have to provide any proof of life because they're just outside of the investigation. It's all very coy and very protected. So I don't see anything here that's particularly compelling. A clever person could certainly construct this. Now, I want to be clear, that doesn't mean that there isn't something genuine there. But I just go back to what so many other commentators have said along with me, which is right now the actual reward is higher than the cost of a Bitcoin, and there'd be no pejorative in coming forward. You'd be a hero, and this nonsense about, well, I don't want to be thought of as a rat is ridiculous. As I've said on the air before, perpetrators who are in and around crime, they don't care about what they're labeled if you're offering them $100,000. So I'm skeptical of all of that.
Okay, let's pivot now to what happened overnight, this massive investigation, some kind of an operation at this house within 2 miles of Nancy Guthrie's home. They're being, the sheriff's department being very cautious this morning, saying there's absolutely no one that's been arrested, absolutely no one that's been in custody. They won't even confirm whether or not the two separate scenes last night were related. How are you reading all of this morning? We know that someone could be detained for questioning, not necessarily in custody or arrested. How are you sort of like picking up on what the sheriff's putting out right now?
So there are levels of detention in federal and state police work. There's case law that kind of proscribes what you can do. And essentially, you can hold somebody, it's the famous stop, question, and frisk paradigm. You can hold somebody for a brief investigation to ascertain certain things before it becomes an arrest. And there's a continuum. And there's no bright line there. It's always a totality of the circumstances analysis. We don't know what happened here in terms of how they got the search warrant. They had probable cause to get search warrants. We know that. So they had enough there to at least do that. But very clearly, according to the police, it never escalated to the point where they said, okay, you are in custody right now, you're not going anywhere, and you are under arrest. I'd love to see the search warrants. I think that's the great mystery in this thing. But obviously, they're not being made public. They're, I'm sure, filed under seal. But they had to have something more than just an informant, somebody saying, hey, I think it's these guys. They must have married it to some other facts, just as they did in the earlier one. But remember something, in the earlier one, they appear to have washed him out at this point. These things happen in law enforcement, to be fair. The difference here is the tremendous scrutiny that's on this and the number of resources. I mean, there were dozens of cars out there, dozens of forensic trucks, and all kinds of personnel and tech. That is what's unusual here. You had drones up, so the visibility into it for the public is what's unusual.
But it's a good sign, right? I mean, just to see any police activity. We want to see police activity now 2 weeks later. That means that tips are coming in. We know thousands of tips are coming in, but it also means that something is catching the eye of investigators enough to where they go get a search warrant.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, that people are cooperating, they are getting stuff. And there's another subtlety, I think, here that's a good sign, which is that the task force seems to be operating in synchronicity. We all know that there are reports of some tension inside of it, and that's never helpful. It's common, but it's not helpful. Looks to me at this point like they've decided to get on the same page. They've got protocols in place. The FBI was out there with the Pima County Sheriff's Office last night. They put out a statement, the Pima County Sheriff's Office did, where they were very careful to name check the FBI to say in conjunction with our partners, et cetera, et cetera. So very clear they're all being cognizant. I'm sure word came down from above. Look, you guys got to work this out. And I'm not even just talking about Washington. I'm talking about in Tucson from the mayor's office, et cetera. You got to work this out here because the main equity, of course, is getting Nancy back. That looks to have taken place. So I'm hopeful with all of these combined resources and the public now engaged, because they're very clearly now engaging the public more than they had been. That is a lot of scrutiny in between all of this investigative muscle and tips coming in from the public, people thinking about things that maybe I should report it, maybe I shouldn't, let me just do it. At some point, you get that golden nugget.
And very quickly, I just have 30 seconds left here, Paul. I mean, you said to me yesterday, you're zooming in on the backpack. The backpack could be the key to finding and cracking this case open. Why?
They're very definitive about the backpack. They're not hedging there. In addition to the height they gave, which is a new definitive data point, between the backpack, which is relatively rare, they're going to identify some of the other items that are visible in that video, cross-reference all of that. If you're lucky, you got credit card purchases, that's going to get you there. If it's cash, you're going to need video of the actual purchases. Hopefully it was done recently enough that you can synchronize all of that data and get to the one person who bought all of these things, because there's a few things in there that are relatively unique in that video.
Okay. All right, Paul Mauro, you're a godsend. Thank you for joining us and giving us your insight as we try to figure this out.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.